Hello, my name is Brian Sibley from McKay Marine in Canada. I'm continuing on our video series, and this video will demonstrate how to back up your seafloor data and your marks and tracks. Also a few other features, mostly regarding the use of USB keys. So as we switch here to look at the display, you'll see the Olex display here, and as you can see on the screen, I've got just a sample file of some marks and tracks from various different vessels around the area. So as you can see, those are all stored down here on plot layer A, so I can take them on or off very quickly. So let's say I wanted to make a backup of all that data. This is how I would do it. So first things first, I would take a memory stick. I have a little Olex memory stick. You would go to the USB port on your computer. Mine's a little different. I've got a little keyboard here, and I just plug the stick into the USB slot. Okay, so we'll see it powers up, and then we wait for the on-screen menu. So it says storage device detected. So what I want to do, I'm trying to save my data. So you have the option of read from the stick or write to the stick. So I'm going to save my data, so I'm going to write to the stick. So it connects to the stick. It shows me what other files that I may have on that memory stick, and then down here it tells me data type. So I've got my own depth data, which would be my own seafloor data. So if I'm making a backup to send in for the Olex shared seafloor database, this would be the selection I make. So what I would do, I would click here and say own depth data, and it automatically places the serial number of the Olex software on your machine. So this is very useful because when you email this in to McKay or to us or to Olex, this serial number basically is the identity of your system. So they know, okay, serial number 9184 has sent in their data and it will be cleaned and processed. So very simple, you just go click the flashing save button, and it says, do you really want to save? I'm not going to do a save here because I'm just got a demo system. But when you do this, it will click up a yellow box or a green box here, and it will say saving seafloor data may take 20 to 30 minutes, or it will not take 20 to 30 minutes, but it may say that if it's a very large file that covers a wide area. It could take as long as that, but typically now we see it's anywhere in the range of 10 seconds to maybe a minute or so, minute and a half. So that's how you do your seafloor data, but let's say I'm going to do my plotter data. I can use this little icon here. We'll say all plotter data instead. It will put a generic olecplot.gz. Now what I would recommend, I tell a lot of people, it's nice to back up your data, maybe at the end of the season or every once in a while, just to have that security blanket of having your data. So what I tell people to do is, the best thing to do is this automatically names it Olex plot. But what I would recommend is I would come back and I would say, maybe we say May 2016. Okay? Just for your own record, 3 years from now, you go back, you'll know this was a backup you made at that time. So I click save. It says all plotter data, do you really want to save? Yes. Here's the green box I was talking about, you'll see. And it says saving plotter data. So I'm saving all that data that I have here, all this big file. So there, it's finished. It automatically disconnects your memory stick, so on Windows where you're supposed to eject it properly, you don't have to. It disconnects it automatically and you unplug it and you're done. So you've made a backup. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go into this file and I'm going to delete everything on here. Yes. So I've erased all the marks and tracks that were on my system. So now I'm going to show how we go back and actually put them back. So I take my memory stick, I plug it into the system. It will pop up, and now I'm not saving my data. I'm actually going to try to import my data. So I'm going to say read from the memory stick. So it connects, and I look here and it shows me the files. But what I do see here, it shows me May 2016, shows me the size, 2.5 megabytes, and it tells me that it is Olex plotter data. So that's a giveaway. I can click on it, and then you'll see, as soon as I click, you'll see read flashing down here on the bottom. So I click read. Do you really want to read? Yes. Now, once I read that file, it asks me, how should it be organized? If you remember when I saved it, I just had it stored on one big layer. It'll say keep the original plot layer settings, so it'll go back to A, or I could put it on layer B, for instance, instead. Remember, if I have A and B selected, it's going to go on both. So I just want one. Now this is really important, this keep the original plot setting layers. This is important because if you separate your information down on these separate plot layers, when you save it, it keeps them separated. When you import them back, you have the choice to keep them separated or put them all together. So if you like having them separated, you're best to click here, keep the original plot layer settings. So if I do that and I hit OK, keep in mind this is a super large file, so it takes a little bit of time. Well, not much. But anyway, you'll see it comes back here to layer A. And just to give you an idea how big that file is, it's 62,000 objects. So it's a lot of information there. Most systems don't have this amount of information. So that's how you do the backing up of your seafloor. One other thing that ties into that as well, you have the button up here called the print button. That will print you a screenshot. Okay, so if you, I'm just going to shut the marks off. Let's say you were looking at a certain piece of bottom down here, and you said, you know, this is really impressive. I want a screenshot of that. I want to be able to look at it on my home computer, something like that. You can go here and click print. What it does, it keeps 10 screenshots in memory. So if I click this print button 10 times, it'll have those 10, but if I click it the 11th time, it'll delete the oldest image that I've saved. Okay, so again, when it's time to back that up, if I want to convert that and take it home, I plug my memory stick in, and you get your interface here. So I'm going to write to it because I want to save my screenshots. And then you just go down here to where it says last 10 screenshots. It'll zip it in a file called builder, and then you just hit save. Do you really want to save? Yes. So you'll see it here. I just had the one screenshot, but it'll list 10. You can put that in a Windows computer, unzip it, and open up the files and view them and print them off, do whatever you'd like to do in that sense. So anyway, that's a handy thing. The other thing you can do from this, if we check here, I'll touch on software upgrades because it's important. 8.9 is my current version. So let's say I had an older version and I went to the Olex website and decided that I wanted to do an upgrade. Again, it can be done by your local dealer, but if you're in a little more remote area where it's hard to get local service, you can save the file on a memory stick that you download from the website, insert it, you're going to read from the memory stick, and what you'll see here is it says here's Olex 8.9. Now I can't upgrade my system because it's current, but if I click on it, it'll show me the list of files, and I just select any single one, and when I do, they all highlight. And then I say read. Do you really want to read? I'll say yes. Now, the only problem with this that you have to be careful with, it's important to look down here under your chart selection. If you have a CMAP in there, you have to have the blue disk to go with it. If you don't, your charts will be gone. If you're using Chartworld, there's no problem. You do the upgrade, it'll recompile your charts if they had to be removed. But if you have CMAP and you do not have your CMAP disk, please talk to your local dealer before you do an upgrade, because if you do the upgrade, you risk losing all of your CMAP navigational charts. So anyway, just wanted to make that clear, but again, the upgrades are very easy to do, and you can do them. So anyway, just wanted to make that clear, but again, the upgrades are very easy to do, and you can do them. So anyway, just wanted to make that clear, but again, the upgrades are very easy to do, and you can do them. So anyway, just wanted to make that clear, but again, the upgrades are very easy to do, and You know, they're very robust at how they work. Your system will load the software, then it'll say system's going down for reboot. It'll start up and you'll be using the current software. So